Happy Easter, everyone, if you celebrate it. If not, I hope you're enjoying the weekend. I'm sure it's a much needed recovery. It definitely is for me. Today's video is on Harvest Farm, so big shout out to Bo Dollar, who's recommended me this cryptocurrency of theirs to review. If you want me to review your cryptocurrency, leave a comment down below and I will review it honestly. I'll compare it to Bitcoin, Ethereum, and give you some price predictions on it. It's not financial advice, of course, but I think it's a great educational way to review your cryptocurrencies. I'm not one of these YouTubers just pumping every single coin to the moon. So that's what we're going to do with Farm. I'm going to start calling it that because that's the ticker code. So let's have a look at the macro picture and then we'll start working our way in, and then again we'll compare it to Bitcoin and Ethereum. So on the macro scale, what can we see? Well, again, this is the only chart I was really able to find with as much data as possible, with the listing on Binance coming on the 11th of August. Of course, this happens a lot to a lot of cryptocurrencies that get listed on Binance. You get something like this, which is just a huge upthrust day getting dumped on. And Harvest Farm or Farm hasn't been able to really get to that level since then, unfortunately. So hopefully you haven't bought on that day. Any coin that gets listed on Binance, be very, very careful. It doesn't happen with every crypto, but most of them will get a huge pump up on Binance and then get dumped on the same day. So again, I hope that's not anyone there. Then of course we have the downtrend and we have the low that got put in on the 3rd of December. There's somewhat good news in that, and I've drawn my horizontal line here, that was the absolute low going in at around $81, give or take, roughly there, which was the low on the 4th of December. The good news is that we weren't able to get another low like this. We've come a bit close in February and March-ish. We've come within a few dollars, but we haven't had to resort to those same lows, which is very, very, very good. But like I said, let's start from the macro picture. We've got their downtrend, we got perfect rejection at the 50%, and then we had perfect rejection at the 333 mark before, like I said, putting down the low on this chart on the 4th of December. What I don't like about Farm is that we have a lot of upthrusts, which are basically these big volume days that close relatively weak. So here's a perfect example. On the 28th of December, it had a massive, look at the size of that volume bar, huge volume, and then it closes right mid on the bar, which means that it's very weak. And in all the books I read, they say, look for upthrust to become a point of resistance or support. Obviously, we're hoping for it to become some support. And you can see it right here. There it is. And then it becomes some resistance and it gets rejected a few times before ultimately continuing its downtrend. I want to be careful when I say this because we don't know. Any technical analyst person, such as myself who looks at charts, a chart isn't saying, oh, it's definitely going up, it's definitely going down. We don't know. There's no model in the world that can predict every single buyer and every single seller. What we do with charts is we just try to increase the probability of our analysis. So if we feel like this is a winning trade, then we take it. If we feel this is a winning investment, we take it. If we don't think it is, then we don't take it. So all I can do is look and see that information that's available now and have a good call. What I can see here, if I just sort of zoom in a little bit more, you can see if we have a look at the volume, then that would basically be this basic chunk right here. If we have a look at that chunk going from about 23rd of January up until the 19th of March, so pretty recently, you can see, look at the volume. It's absolutely tiny, which again, I want to be careful when I say this, might indicate that all the sellers have been liquidated and it's time for higher prices. And you can see that because if we look at the next month, you can see that although the volume is still low, you can see that it hasn't had to go down to those same levels. So we got higher highs. Finding a little bit of support at the moment at the trend line I've drawn, and I've drawn an overhead one, and we'll see how we go when breaking out for this. So where do I want to see Farm go from here? Well, of course, I've got my 50% of the shorter time frames coming in at $120, and you can see perfect rejection a few times already there. So if we look in a bit more deeper on the chart, hopefully that helps you look, you can see rejection, rejection, rejection. So you're starting to see Farm having these issues where it's having trouble getting to higher prices and staying there. That's not a really good thing to look into. Then of course, if we can get past this 50%, we want to look at the next 50%, which is at $187. So that would coincide with some areas of resistance previously as well. And you can see a lot of resistance will definitely be coming at that $187. If we can make it to the major 50%, which is at $394, if we can and get our head over it, then we have some pretty good clear skies ahead. And I mean, really, we could find support. We could find some resistance at any one of these marks. I mean, if we get there, I'm not saying things are easy, of course, but you go looking at anywhere between 30 to 80, 90% returns potentially if we can find some support at that level. So I want to be careful when I say that, but I like this coin in terms of if we can get to this mark, then I'll definitely have my attention. But until then, at the moment, I have to call it like I see it, which is it just looks weak. It's not the worst cryptocurrency I've seen at the moment. Like I said, it put in its lows in December, which is very good, and it hasn't had to go below this. So if it definitely dipped below $81, let's call it $80, maybe put a stop loss at $78, I would say, look, if it breaks those levels, I'm out. It's looking weak. I don't know where the bottom is for this thing. I'm just gonna wait for a bit of a base to form before I dip my toes back in it. That's the way I would approach it. But at the moment, like I said, it looks like the low might be in very, very low volume during this area here, and we have to see how it goes. Moving forward, I want to see some price increases from here, but we have to take it day by day because the cryptocurrency market is still in a sideways churn, and farm is no different in that respect. Let's have a look at farm compared to its Ethereum value to see the relative strength it has against Ethereum and Bitcoin. So here we are again at Coin Codex. I compare all of these coins to Ethereum, so I ping them all to the Ethereum value. I do this as a baseline. I needed some sort of standard for the cryptocurrency I'm reviewing to be able to perform or underperform. If a coin can't outperform Ethereum, I always say this time and time again, you can just invest into Ethereum, get better returns, and reduce your risk substantially. A lot of people think Ethereum is a boring project, and I completely agree. It's been around for a number of years now, but in terms of pure returns, you'll find a lot of cryptocurrencies bleed out to Ethereum, and you can already see how many coins are in the red at the moment bleeding out to ETH. So let's have a look at farm and see how it's performing against Ethereum. Last time I checked, it was ranked 470, so let's have a look. So there it is, farm 470. Outperformed Ethereum by 1.6% in the last 24 hours. 7 days underperforming to Ethereum by 1.9%, 7 days 6.5%, 3 months underperformed to Ethereum by 27%, 6 months underperformed to Ethereum by 33%, year to date underperformed to Ethereum by 25%, 1 year underperformed to Ethereum by 71%. So you could have just bought Ethereum and reduced your risk substantially. But something to be said about this tool is that it works very, very well in probably the top 100. But once you start going into post 100, so now we're in almost 500 rank, these coins are very, very low market cap, so anything on a given day can change these numbers drastically. So let's have a look at a chart to see how well it stacks up on a chart. I'm keeping it pretty simple at the moment. This is farm against its Ethereum. I've drawn my trend, so you can see some resistance coming at the upwards trend. We are facing resistance at the moment. I'll be looking for a break at that point. You can see volume, like I said, decreasing, but the price is also against its Ethereum value decreasing. So you want to wait for this confirmation of this downtrend to finish, because you can already see, straight from a first look, this is a downtrend, and you have to respect the trend. Do not go against the trend unless you really, really know what you're doing. Don't think, oh my God, it's going down, but it will surely go up soon. I mean, how much more down can it go? Don't think like that. You need to go with the trend. So until we start to get an upwards trend moving, then absolutely. But you can just see this has been an absolute downtrend against the Ethereum value, down. So wait until we get that confirmation. And of course, if we get some 50%, and once again, with the 50%, you will find, of course, resistance. Always bang on 50%. That's why I love the tool so much. Let's have a look at farm against its BTC value. So I've drawn some already on here, and you can see much like Ethereum, not as bad as Ethereum, but still a downtrend. Downtrend, up thrust, downtrend. Good news is that, like I said, here you've got a downtrend, here you've got a downtrend, but the downtrend isn't as bad as the left one here, which is at least some good news, some positiveness here. But like I said, this is still downtrends, and you want to be a little bit careful with that. If you are trading this is ultimately your decision, of course. If you're investing this, it's absolutely your decision at the end of the day. But for me personally, in summary, I would not be purchasing this at all. This is a downtrend. I have to respect the trend. It's not to say it always will be. There can be something that changes, and I will be on the charts ready to go as soon as I see those things play out. But at the moment, it just looks pretty weak, and I have to respect that at the moment. There are much more stronger altcoins than farm. It's not the worst chart I've seen, but it's still a pretty gnarly one, to be honest, anyway, at that, just because of its strength against its Bitcoin and Ethereum value. You can see just downtrends across the board in both of them. And until that changes, you're better off just doing those two. Hope this video helped, and I hope I haven't stepped on anyone's toes. It's just my honest opinion. It can always be wrong, of course, but leave a comment down. What did you think of this video? Did it help you? Did it not? Give me some honest feedback. It's the only way I can improve. But until then, everyone, stay safe out there. Enjoy your long weekend, and I will catch you on the next video.